Appreciate Mr. Yahuah for all he has done, all he is doing, all that he's going to do. Yes, sir. One thing I said, I woke up this morning, my mind was still stayed on him. That's always a good place. Everybody don't have that. They wake up their mind on something else. My mind is always on him. Considering my latter end, realize if you're alive, I know what's imminent. Death is coming. All I'm trying to do is make sure when I transition over that, I'll be ready. So I made preparation with the debate to make sure I let it sink deep into my log. I just don't have it as a conversation. I want to have it as a lifestyle. I want to always do the thing that conducive for salvation. I appreciate Mr. Yahuah, and I was giving him Hadu. Thanks for allowing us to be able to be a partaker of this muhad that he put in front of us. Everybody don't have an opportunity to be able to keep it and do it, but he saw fit to grant us the knowledge to understand and know that it's to our benefit. He don't give it to everybody because it belongs to him. So he don't give it to a particular people that are willing to circumcise their law, willing to convert over and be able to keep all the statutes and rituals of Elohim. And I appreciate it for allowing us to be able to do that. I know it's a small thing to some of y'all, but you keep living if you see fit. And you watch the transition of time and watch how you see people start to dissipate and disappear. You watch all the family that come on their rise. You'll start to appreciate your time here. You'll start to acknowledge him and realize, there's nothing you've done. It's just been the con, which is the favor, which is the grace of Elohim, that he spared us to be able to have this opportunity, to be able to be taught of it most of all. We know that through over time that they've oppressed us with different versions and different ideologies of knowledge and information, and they've tried to woo us through these trinkets they give us, cars and jewelry and other things that we've taken on, and we sold out our first love in order to be among this nation. That's the truth. We sold out. At one time, we was a pinnacle of people that folk watched us, even the so-called Negro, during the slavery time. People watched him and looked at his integrity, looked at although he had nothing, although he had been stripped, he had been raped, it was just certain things he wasn't going to do. But now, since he allowed us, he realized it was more detrimental to let us out of slavery, more helpful for him to let us out and allow us to come and think that we're achievers and think that we've gained something. And now, we sold out. Right. We the worst worshipers he could find. Right. We've gotten sold. I remember years ago, we used to watch white people go to church. They stand there. They would sing from a hymn book. People of color, we get it, man. It's rhythm. It's movement. It's shouting. It's crying. It's hollering and everything. We were ignorant to a lot of knowledge, but we understood the appreciation and the energy that we were producing because we were really trying to fix things with Elohim. But now they came along. Now you could buy in the same neighborhoods. Your kids go to the same school. You can go to the same colleges. Desegregation hurt us. Yeah. Not saying because being with white people, but it made us sell out. It felt like that was our freedom, that was our liberty. When it wasn't our liberty, it wasn't our freedom. Yahuah came to give us something different. That was to give us an understanding. Right. And whether people want to get it or not, that's the most critical part of life, making sure you understand. Yes, sir. And recorded it in all you're getting. That's it. So a lot of times we've gotten things, we've gotten houses, we've gotten cars, we've gotten marriages. We got degrees. We got people cutting out with doctors. It's nothing now. For years ago, I remember in the 70s, when I grew up, when a person had a master, that was like a doctor. We didn't even worry about nobody being a doctor. They had a master's. You like, a master's? Man, a master's ain't nothing. That's just like you went to school 1 year and dropped out the first semester. Isn't that right? Now, you got people got 2 doctors. You got enough for them to have 2 doctors. You got 2 of them, but look what, the more we've obtained, the less we actually should call him, which is to adore him when we worship. It's one thing that people might worship him, should call him. It's another thing when you adore him. It's a difference when you have an admiration for someone. But it's hard for us to have it when we look at what today has allowed it. But if you see, it's steadily falling. I got an answer, and I got a cure for the white man. Get rid of all the black people off your soil. He'll be in a better position. Worst thing he got going on is having us him. Because we sold out and we looked at around here. I ain't never seen so many people of color, Buddhists, Hindus, all this stuff. We never knew. We came up, we were just Christian. That's what they gave us from slavery. We were Christian. Nobody knew about no Islam, no Hebrew, not Hebrew, but a lot of these other religions that we got from these people, we took it up from them. Now we done start going anything. More niggas now act like they know Kung Fu. He don't know the difference Kung Fu. He calls something karate and it's Kung Fu. He don't know the difference. He just holler something. Isn't that the worst thing he could do? They gave a black man a robe. When he tied it first, that thing he thought it was Bruce Lee. Isn't that right? Gave one of them tortillas, he rolled it up, he thought it was an egg roll. Now look at him, we got to fix his condition. That's right, the so-called Negro, he's sick. People don't realize he's sick. And the whole goal, if we as a people would turn back to him with our whole lungs, with our whole hearts, other nations will follow. Other nations will follow. Because this was our understanding inside of the nation. The fact that how we adored him and the way we kept his statutes and his ritual was how other people acknowledged us. They knew you weren't just a gui, you was a gui that Elohim had chosen. Yeah. You know, right? The powerful one, the mighty one, the existing one had chosen him an arm, and the only way that people would know him was by us. Yeah. Yeah. He never said it another way other than the writings, and for the people to see example. Teaching instruction is not just verbal, it's also visual. So with our laws, which are Torah, which are destruction or instruction direction, it also had visual, because you can watch. So people see it, they say, well, I don't know how to keep the Shabbat. Watch me. So you could tell them they still need to be able to see something. Even with Elohim, he gave us things that we can actually visualize so you can get an understanding. I appreciate that. A lot of times people just giving us commands, but we hadn't actually understood it. We did it, but it's been without understanding. That gets you right into destruction. So it's important. I appreciate, unlike a lot of religion, just do it. He'll give you understanding. Versus, no, I need understanding before I do it. Because if I don't have understanding, then I'm going to be in error. Y'all got it. But Chris, I just told you, let's pray about it. How many of y'all heard that before they tell you that? If you didn't understand, they said, just pray about it. I'll give you understanding. You can pray all you want to do it. The man said they all going to be taught of him. Come on. He never said everybody going to pray to me and ask me, I'm going to get them answers. That makes no sense. I don't know what he hiring preachers for. That's right. What you need with teachers to come and illuminate people and instruct them when all they got to do is pray and close their eyes, and then you don't need them. Don't make sense. You don't need to do anything. So you could clearly see where people have just used things to cover up versus saying it's important that unashamed man. I'm talking about mankind overall. We really need to sit down and dissolve a lot of the discrepancies we have. It ain't just a white issue, a black issue. It's a Chinese issue. It's a Filipino issue. It's a whatever South American issue. It's a Haitian issue. It's a Jamaican issue. It's an issue because everybody believes in something different. And we all need to sit down and say, first of all, let's sit down. Where did man come from? That's an argument. Somebody say he was a fish he washed up on. How many fish you done seen washed up and none of them got up and put no clothes on yet? You know what I'm saying? That's retarded. I mean, that's good. We done looked at 8. We done had, will it be, I'm a native Atlanta, Grady baby. When I say it, I like to look at other folk how they were Grady baby. I look at their eyes. That man that was born in a cab. I know good with him. That man, he born in a, I can tell a cab, baby. Every now and then you see a little yellow light flag saying taxi. I already know you spot him. Now you from Atlanta. Where you born at?
I was born in Southern Region.
Southern Region. I know what's up. I know. Come out 1941, you hang that right gun. I've been by it. I might have seen you before, man. I'd be checking. I had to check. I just had to check. Anybody that born at Greater? Nobody. Greater where? Greater Construction. Oh, you're stretching. So I'm the only true born Greater baby in here. Keisha born at Greater. Special woman. Ain't been a Greater. You born at Greater. Greater, you the one that take you out of here too. Ain't that right? You going to Greater, but make sure, listen, I tell everybody, document all your organs before you go in. A lot of people that came up, you'll hear you're going to be missing something though. All they're going to do is take it out of one room, put it in another room. But anyway, having said that, I say it's needful for all of us to get together to dissolve doubt. Because of doubt, so many people are searching and so many people are looking. And every day you see other religions come up from Scientology and other, I think probably knew what they got, maybe be Scientology. I'm sure they invented another religion. And they won't stop. It'll be another religion after that. Because man has a lot of discrepancy. It's a lot of unanswered questions. So for us, the one thing that you'll find is the fact that we try to go back and say, what I believe that mankind should do, let's just go back and look at the beginning. Let's see what happened. The better way to figure out something, just like if it's a crime, hypothetically, if they come in here, he dead and I'm in here, they're not going to take the crime. They're going to start him, but they're going to go back and say, let's look at events that led up to that. When did these two encounter each other? Was there the discrepancy? Did Smith have a weapon? Was it a weapon? They're not going to come in and say, I'm here, he dead, that's the case. No, we want to investigate up. Like they had these school shootings, y'all notice that? What did they wind up doing? They go through what? Their social media. So they can start getting the history before. We're trying to find out what was the mind state before you got here. Has this been something you've always had? Versus you come here, school shoot, open, close. We got the shooter, we got that. This and no, now we need to investigate. How do we get to this point? Has this guy been radical for this long period of time or not? What are other people associated with it? All these are key things you need to know. You might say, well, what's the point? We got the killer, we got the body, but we need to find out what led up to the killing.
Right.
How many other people in conjunction with this? How many people played a part? How many more people radical with that type of mindset so we can try to prevent further more of it happening? That's what they did to us. That's why people have not progressed. These people have looked at people who withstood the demands of the slave master. And you start looking at what tribes you need to be careful about.
Right.
What people you need to make sure don't enter in, because these people become problems. Why y'all think they got coding for every one of us?
Yeah.
People that are passive,
Yeah.
people that's liberal, people they look at that's real strict. Even with our people, we had what we call the Parashim, they called the Pharisees. Why were they calling them the Parashim? Because they were separatists. They were people that separated themselves from people. That's why they looked at these people are extremists, because they don't get themselves involved with anybody. They told them when we go to the market, except we wash pots, cups, vessels, any of it. That's what we do. They said that's our tradition, which means other people didn't do it. They want to know about him and his Talmudim, his taught one. Why don't they do that? People need information. Don't y'all know? Let me tell you something. The system of government was designed to actually make sure the will of the people were being enforced. That's the only purpose of government, is to make sure whatever the will of the people is to be enforced, and to make sure that the people's will is being protected. If hypothetically, if we are the people and our will is for something to happen, and this is what we agree on, and she decides she's a country or nation, she don't care for it, she wants to stop it. Our government has a military to set up that come in to defend our right for that to happen. Y'all got what I'm saying? To keep any prevention of. Well, Elohim got the same thing for us too. But when you don't know, this will hurt you. Because a lot of things we had know, all these systems of government have been set up predicated off of your writings. But because you get books and your books have dates on them, so if I just using the 1611 version of, I call it perversion, because of the purpose of why it was written. So using the 1611 version, King James version of the Bible, so typically when a Christian sit down and read, this is as far as he's going to try to reach back.
Yeah.
But they started writing in 1602.
Yeah.
So what were they believing in 1601?
Come on. Got a point.
And what were they doing in 1600?
Come on.
And what were they doing in 1598? Because before 1520, they already had over 200 different versions written in 1520. So when you give me 1611, why is this the one you're going to say, this the original version, and this is what you need? Original, it means almost though this is what, this is where it starts at. Yet the version you have now is not the original, because the writings are different. That's well, our speech changed since then, so we start using more modern terminology when we do it. But when you do it, you also take away from sometimes the meaning of why certain things were used. And this is what happens sometimes we deal it in translation. For us, the goal is to get back to look at this. If something can be misconstrued, if it's interpreted through somebody else, then I have to look at the same thing happen when it comes down to the will of Elohim. That certain things that we might be doing or might not be doing might be because something had been misconstrued. Because in translation, somebody felt like, well, this word is equivalent enough or explains enough or says enough that this will have you accurate, when I just rather get back to first of all, what did he say?
Come on.
I'll still have to use English words sometime to come back to try to look at how they fit, but I want to get an understanding, first of all, what did he say and what should be performed. Listen, we dealt with people that came before us. Adam, first man. Yahuah, the woman, not Eve. Eve, first name is Summer. Well, Eve is actually her middle name. Massengil is her last name. So Summer Eve Massengil, don't worry about it. So now we look at Yahuah. Her name is life giver. See, a woman had to look at what her stature and what her place is. You're a life giver. You have to look at it. So as a life giver, you got to look at what you put in your body and what comes out of it. So when a woman don't look at herself like that, then how she going to carry herself? Same thing as a man looking at himself as a farmer. You're a seed planter. He's a seed sower. That's what a man is. You're a seed sower. So when a man starts to understand his purpose and how he designates him, then he has to look at what type of action he demonstrates. Because he's supposed to be in the image of, resembling, in the likeness. Isn't that right? Similar. Y'all got what I'm saying? To exact. All these things he has to look at. So what's the purpose of giving me the word and telling me what you do? And you made me like you. What's the purpose of giving me a word, telling me everything you do, and you made me like you? So what happened? That's the only reason to give it to him. But when a man doesn't know that, Caleb, he reads and says, look at God. Look at God. Ain't he something? When you're looking at him, I'm supposed to be a direct reflection of him. Yeah. If I look in the mirror not going to show me Rashida, not unless she's standing in the mirror. It's going to show me what it sees. Well, he created Ish, and he made him say, you know what? I want you to mirror me. You got it. I want you to listen. You're going to be exact replica of me. You're going to be the likeness of me. People are going to see me through you. That's how people are going to recognize me, through you, because of these attributes and these traits. And people are going to associate you with who? Who y'all associate me with? Hold on. How y'all, hold on for me. Hold. Y'all see me drink? Who see me drinking? So how did I get associated with alcoholic? That's what alcoholic do. Y'all see me with some hoes? So why I get associated with a pimp? See, so because certain actions demonstrate something. See that? No, did I verbally tell you I was a pimp? So that shows you that teaching is more than just words, that it actually has imagery with it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Y'all got, that's how we knew Elohim working, because he gave us imagery as well. When certain things happen, we knew it's Elohim. But the only way to know that is he had to teach it to us, which means he had to what? Instruct us and show us. That's how we were able to, how is we going to recognize? The world is not recognizing it because what? They haven't been taught. That's the difference. Things that we take lightly are things that are very serious for us, because that's how we identify him, is through these attributes. And because people don't recognize them, miscommunication. Isn't that right? Disassociation. Y'all got it? All right. We'll let them blow the Kato Sarah for those that hear. I also want to say shalom to all of them. Bill, Arnez, Bill again. Oh, that's them. Robert, appreciate you. And Patrick. Oh, yeah, and Hadil. Where's Hadil? I'm going to need that check. You know good and well, your name not supposed to be on it. And you know what's bad about it, though? Christian said, she need a check. Because you know he think about it. His name on that board, ain't it? They're going out together, isn't that right? All right. Oh, there's Arnez right now. Oh, no. So who else I got? Southern boy, appreciate it. Pound. Patrick, appreciate it. That's our shirt maker overseas. So we got shirt makers here. Who else? Isaiah Crawford. Shabbat Shalom. Miss Fakar family. Isn't that right? Appreciate all of them. Who else? Robert. I heard Robert Patrick. Isn't that right? And we got here. Yoshi. Where's that's what Stephen. Stephen, we ain't heard from. Oh, look at that. Arnett sent that $5. I want to see you in the mail, cool. And send him in the mail, he sent money. I appreciate him. Isn't that right? Support. Isn't that right? So we don't sign the Kato Sarah. For those that don't know, when they sign the Kato Sarah, we stand and we ride. And we know from the writings, he told us that when Yahuah was going to appear, he said that the Mashiach, that the Malachim that they call angels, we don't know what they are except you put the dust behind it. Angel dust is what we're more familiar with. These are figment of imagination. There are no such things as angels. They're actually messengers. Whatever they came, they were giving messages. That's why they're Malachim, because they are messenger. They're his messenger. We don't know why people teach you about angels. Then you're looking for white people with blonde hair. So white people with brunette hair, y'all in trouble. Only white people they looking at, only brunette is Jesus. All the angels are blonde. I don't know how they get along, because the blondes have more fun. So but which is smart, they didn't make Jesus a blonde, because he couldn't have died. He would have been having fun. I mean, think about it. It'll messed up the imagery. Y'all remember they used to teach y'all that blondes have more fun. So if Jesus was blonde-headed, that would have been fun. He'd been crucified. He's starving himself. So you make him a brunette. Then you let the angels be blonde-headed, because they just flying around having fun, dropping off message, going back. Ain't nobody messing with them. Ain't got to wear no drawers. Like, man, we having a good time. All right, they're just putting it out there. Come on. So we're going to rise. We appreciate Mr. Yahuah. Again, I always put the Mr. on the front of it. We learned from the definition that Mr. means master. So if anybody going to be my master, it's going to be Yahuah, so I'm going to call him Mr. Maybe that's what they used to make us call the slave man. We called him Mr. We didn't know him calling him Mr. He was covering more than one. He was covering, they said, killing 2 birds with 1 stone. He was getting that respect, and we didn't know at the same time. He said, I ain't calling no white man my master. I call him Mr. Well, you just call him master. And not to teach you about hating whites or rulership, but it's just trying to teach you how we were duped, and we've been duped for so long that we lack the understanding. We can use the other chart, the one y'all would use, the Beth Mashiach. It'd probably be easy to explain it. I try to make it where we do it to make it where it can be unexplainable. It don't matter what version we use, we'll still work it out. I don't want people to get thrown because we say arbitrary words, but it's just, again, trying to get back to the root of how things more or less stemmed out. Because the goal of that's just being honest. Let me tell y'all something. Honesty. Which is all honesty. Our people have, we more or less serve with a guard on. When I say with a guard on, when you've been hurt and lied to and misled as long as the so-called nigga, and that's not at all saying other races hadn't, but a certain group of people I know that I can appeal to because I understand the hurt we deal with. We've been from the education system to our homes not being reared properly, or single parent homes, or just situations and all, whether it's gang violence or watching arrests or watching drug abuse or alcoholism. We've dealt with so many different things, putting confidence in preachers and preachers failing us, from sleeping with the members or sleeping with another man or whatever it might be, doing sleeping with kids or running off with money or covers or lies, whatever it's been. We've been damaged a long time. So what we tend to take the hurt out is when it comes down to our servitude or serving Elohim. Elohim would be the mighty ones. We want to understand who he is, serving the mighty one. And because we've been victims for so long, and people in all, but especially for people of color, I believe, we more or less kind of serve with a guard. And the guard we serve with isn't the not God, G-O-D, I'm talking about a guard. Was it G-U-A-R-D? A guard that where we're so kind of protected because we feel so vulnerable. And then salvation is probably really the last thing on our agenda. It's something we know we need. It's something we want. But let's just be honest. If you put on priority the things we do, that just ain't it. We try to make sure we ain't getting shot. We try to make sure we pay the bills. We try to make sure we got a job. We try to hold on to a car. We try to make payments, minimum. We try to get out of debt. We trying to take care of doctor bills. We got appointments. We got medication, to where we're just slammed. To be honest, salvation is really not a priority. We might go to service, whether it's Sunday or we keep Shabbat like we're doing, but just being practical with our people just be honest with yourself, that's really not your priority. And the reason why I say that, because you have to look at how you do it. When it's a priority, you got to look at how you do it. You got to look at the effort you put behind it. Y'all got it. It's like certain bills you throw them to the side. Who know why? That's not a priority. I'll be honest, I got more stuff than to worry about than that. When it come down to really serving Elohim, the way he's telling us about keeping certain events or certain protocols he has us do, I just be honest with you, I got too much other stuff I really need to try to make sure I get done. If I get it done, I get it done. If it's for me, it's for me. If it's not, it's not. And unfortunately, that's a bad mindset of being. The priority for us has to be our salvation first. Y'all saying? Securing salvation. Salvation is deliverance. Which means, first of all, in order for me to look at salvation to be protocol or be protocol, but looking at it being priority, first of all, I got to look at what do I really feel like my condition is. A lot of it based off your condition. How many of y'all haven't been feeling good and you didn't go to the doctor? How many of y'all had that before? Why you didn't go? It wasn't that serious. Ain't that right? Anybody been like that and somebody recommended them they probably need to go to the doctor? Have y'all ever been told that, and what did you do still? Why? And feel like they said, although we're pressing, although we weren't feeling well, I've been guilty of that, I weren't feeling well. We just felt like, just work it out, I just wait. You know that's the same mentality we have with salvation? He said, behold, I stand at the door, the dog. He said, I knock. He said, if any man open. Have we ever had anybody sometime come to your door, you look out, see it is, you say, I ain't answering the door. Guess what? We've been doing it to him. You know why? Because be honest, it's not a priority. It's not a priority. That's something I can hold off on. You've been offered insurance. If people go, they say, well, how about this? And then, how about, and you can get this? You say, Nah, I'm just gonna get this. They try to tell you it could be something beneficial later because you could actually have this event happen, but you're looking at, I'm just gonna stay with this. Because you start looking at priority, you look at where this gonna put me at. This is gonna put me more of a financial stretch. So would it put me more of a financial stretch? I don't need nothing else. I'm just getting the bare minimums of what I need in order to get by. And it becomes dangerous because you start doing it for your salvation. Life kind of sets you up for how you're going to serve in your salvation. That's how you do it. It's not priority to get things done, to accomplish everything. All you can do, best you can or what you can do. And sometimes we can use that as an excuse not to do everything we can. That's just being honest. So we have to be so careful because life does that to us and it will hurt us in the realm of salvation. Because I'm telling you, we live in today. He's coming back on a cloud. There ain't every eye gonna see him. He gonna take us back with him. How many of y'all see it today, right now? How many of y'all see him coming in the next 5 minutes? So how much are you really gonna put into the statement? Because it's not something you see pressing where it's that urgent, where it's finna happen right now. I said, look out, somebody finna hit you. Now he gonna do it. That's now. I gotta get out the way now. If I had to push her, I had to deal with that later. Right now, I'm looking at what's the event I'm dealing with now. And a lot of times this becomes a problem for us in our servitude of seeking salvation. And we're just kind of out there. Just look around. I don't know. I'm just kind of wondering and going. First of all, you got to really make sure is salvation something you really want. That's just being honest. I mean, I tell all the time, count up the cost. Count up the cost for me means really looking at everything I got, everything I'm trying to do and everything I'm doing, and then looking at what he's asking me to do. Now, what can I afford to do? I mean, that's just being honest. What can I afford to do? Can I afford to keep going on my agenda, to make sure I accomplish everything I'm doing and not seek him? That's a cost I can't afford. I can't afford to be so headstrong into a direction or a way that I want to accomplish something that he becomes secondary versus he has become primary. There are a lot of things you can do, just like in exercise. There are a lot of exercise you can do, whether or not people are doing because it covers kind of two areas. This will help me get through. You know, sometimes you just do something quick and get out. Will you that turn? I don't have time to do everything I do, so we do something quick. You ever done that before? Y'all do that? Do something quick that can cover the most things and get out. And sometimes what'll happen, you don't effectively do it, but you say, but I touched them. You familiar with that? People here work that with, y'all remember that? Do something that just try to get what cover everything quick as you can and get out. Guess what? We do that in our servitude too with Elohim. The problem is you don't really, versus sometimes if you break down a part, and you can really kind of isolate and make sure you properly really work that muscle and make sure you really, and treat that muscle enough to produce what you're trying to get out of it. That's what Yahuah wants. He wants isolation. See, I don't want you to do something. I'm going to give you for a second. I want you something that you want to do and something I do. So we try to work out both of them. I want you to do jumping jacks. You ain't got to do that. And then you got something you want to do too. Do what you try to do too. Do something that you want to do too. All right, come on, get a check. That's too much. Come on, get a check. Bruce, you know what? Bruce, I ain't got nothing hard for you now. That man said. I want you to do something kind of totally more different. Maybe he wants the writer to do something and just show you trying to do what I asked him to do. We'll try it again. Now, you did good on that. But I want you to do something kind of totally off from what I'm doing, but figure how to cover both where you satisfy me and you get what you want done. Okay, you got to put like jumping jack, all right? And something that you would like to do. Maybe you want to write something or do something. I said another check coming. Well, I want you to try to do something else. Maybe try to write something. Let's say you might want to write something while you're doing it too. See, no, I want you to do it. See, go ahead. See, this is how we serve. He's doing some of what I want, and he's doing what he wants. Now, he's ineffective on what I was trying to get him to do. But in his mind, what he's doing, you good, what he's doing is what we do. In his mind, he feel like, I'm doing what he told me to do. And as a man, I still got my own stuff I got to do. How many have been guilty of this? See, if we don't recognize the problem, how we fix it? If we don't recognize the problem, we don't ever fix it. That's the problem. See, having real conversation with people in general, all the races can really come together and get together. The problem we got to sit down and deal with is, do we want to deal with truth? Just like salvation. Salvation deal with truth. That's why people don't want it. I want to say, they asked me to get up and want to join the church. Y'all give me a hand clap. I want to join the church. Give me a hand. I appreciate it. I'm going to confess, I'm a sinner. I want to be saved. Give me a hand clap. Give me a hand clap. Brother confessed his sin. Brother ready to be saved. What did I do? Absolutely nothing. I told you enough stuff to carry y'all over everything and claim it covered everything. Then, believe it or not, he wants you to confess everything you've done. You think him. I don't know these people. Confess. How these people looking at me? What they didn't know what I'm doing. I mean, I said I was a sinner, didn't I? He said, no. He said, I want you to tell the people what you've done. I did wrong. I ain't do everything I'm supposed to do. That's some things inwardly that I can still cover up. And in saying that, I didn't address everything. See, when you have to address things that you've done, you have to address the secret part. This thing we all do is secret. People don't know nothing about it till you tell them. Unless somebody told you, I told you, you don't know. So you get to still keep that part of you. And that part of you is the part of you that's been hurting you from looking at salvation being your more primary thing. Because you want to still try to do your thing and try to do his that don't work. To show you how he works and how he does things, he prioritizes things. He said, I tell you what, give me a day. I want me and you just spend a day together. Okay? Just me and you today. Don't go to work. Like he was doing jumping, I don't want you to write. I don't want you to do nothing. I want you to just give me today. I want you to stop doing what you would normally do in your work or servitude to get things done that you say, I'm a man too now. I gotta eat, I gotta have a roof now. And as soon as I'm working, and I get behind, then now I gotta go to hell. So I'm trying to do what you say do and try to do what he say, trying to do what I need to do. Versus we look at, he set these things and a lot of things for a reason to make sure it's covered. I gave you 6 days to get your stuff together. 6 days. I just wanted 1. I could have said, give me 6 and you get it all done in 1. And I've still been right. We keep running, man, ain't enough time in the day. He said, that's what I say. Because I only get 1. You get 6. So what was the purpose of why he set and he put these days? The Shabbat, he said, I elevated it above every other day. I didn't want you to see it the same. I didn't want you to see it like you saw what you call Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. He said, not just call the name. I said it, and the day itself is rest. So I want you to stop doing what you're doing. That day of rest that you have to stop doing other things that you say that wear you out, that have you so tired, that have you to wear, man, whew, they killed me this week. He said, I want you to stop. I want to give you a day that works like that from after this. It's going to be for a long, forever and ever. Y'all got it? But you have to desire it. What makes us desire? Sometimes we get to go, you know what we say? I can't wait to Shabbat. Yes, I get some rest. So I can get a break. Well, our next Shabbat we're actually waiting on is the Shabbat that he's going to come and establish when he come back here. Come unto me, all that burden and heavy laden. See that? But then what you got to do, take my, well, think about this now. He actually talks backwards. Don't tell me rest and yoke. Yoke is something you put on somebody to burden them to get them work. So that doesn't make sense versus I'm telling you the beginning at the end. A person tired is going to want to do what? Rest. So I attract you with the final verdict of it. I'm going to give you rest, but guess what you're going to do? You're going to have to work for me. You have to do work because I'm put a yoke on your. Who puts a yoke on an ox and let it just sit there in the yard? I put the yoke on it because I'm finna work him. The ox knows that. I'm finna work you. Isn't that right? Because now in working you, you're going to learn of me. Because you need to learn me. And then you're going to understand something about my yoke that is easy and my burdens. I won't overstress you like that. You know how we get stressed out? Because these are things we pick up as individuals. And we'll tend to put it on him and say, you know, he tested me. He's trying to get you to see the things you're doing and what actually got you stressed and got you going. The things I got you, it actually got you to where you're breaking yourself. You're getting a chance to understand and get yourself towards salvation. But now you got to sit down and prioritize which one is the most important to you. Let's go ahead and get it. You know what I like to start? You need a foundation. You can't build without a foundation. This is Romans chapter 15, verse 4. For those that why we use the program here is called Beth Ha-Mashiach, which is the house of the anointed one. And we use this program. Sometimes we'll use the CJB, Complete Jewish Bible. Only reason why we use them, we ain't not Jewish either. No, we're not Jewish, so please don't go tell nobody no stuff like that. But sometimes I have to tell people what they understand. We are the Yahudim. Yahudim, that's celebrated. That's who we are, Yehudi. Individual Yahudim, this is what Yahusha was. This was the tribe that was acknowledged above all the other tribes. He actually set them at pinnacle level. Yasharal would cover everybody. See, one thing about we Yehudi, I can be Yehudi and still be Yasharal. You can be Yasharal and not be Yehudi.
That's right.
That's just the flat truth. You can be Yasharal and not be Yehudi. I'm Yehudi and I still cover Yasharal. That's why they put him up on the tube. They wrote on here that this was the Malak of the Yahudim, and they told him he'd be the Malak of Yasharal. They'd have never told him that he was from another Matah. They could have never told him he was the Malak of Yehuda and told him that he was no Malak of Yasharal at the same time. Only he could do that. So it's predicated on knowledge. So that's why we try to look at. So we try to use things to get us back more corrective in our writing so we understand what did he tell us. So Romans 15 and 4, and why you did. Tell them why.
For whatever Nikatab before.
Nikatab was written. That's important for us to know that whatever was written
before
Nikatab
to Lamadus
was written to Lamed, which is to teach, to show, and to instruct. That's what we need. Yahuah had to show us something. Then he had to teach us about it. Then he instructed us on how we're supposed to do. Okay? Let's look at it. Come on.
So that through endurance.
That's going through, patience they call it. This is enduring Nakum. So going through going through patience, going through without quitting. And through
the Nakum,
which is the consolation
of the Ketubim,
of the writings,
we might have Tikva.
Tikva, we got a cord, we got an attachment. So it's important for us to realize that when we're reading, and I think we're part of, I said think as a figure of speech, but I'm more clear. It's evident that the more we've read and we studied, the further we actually gotten away from him. Because we studied into our own ways. And see, the goal was to come to him so he could teach us of his ways.
Right.
Y'all got it? Let's look at something. See if that's the book of Yeshayahu. I don't have nothing written up. Yeshayahu. And the name of the book is Yahuah is Salvation. They call it Isaiah. See, a lot of time they give you names, and the names hurt you because you don't understand the book name. The book name has a lot to do with what he's doing or what he's performing. So the name of the book is Yasha. Yahu. So we want to understand it. Yeshayahu, the book name. See, all of the Sefer scroll books all have names. And the names work for it just like a dictionary or anything else work, encyclopedia. You look, how many of y'all had those encyclopedias in your house? Had all of the A and B. So it was something, if I'm looking up elephant, how does the A alphabet help me out? What about the one about the F? I won't find it there with it. So you see, this is the problem. I've been trying to find salvation. I've been looking in the A section. First, I should have went down to the S section. I should have went down to the Y section. And Yeshua, because this is what he's telling me. Yahuah is salvation. You ain't going to believe it. I want to be saved.
Yes, sir.
I want to be saved. Where do I need to look? Guess what they taught her? Pray and read. How is your answer going to come in through pray and read? Right. Where does it say? Where's a writer that told her pray and read? So how did we let somebody sell us their bill of goods? This is why it's been so far from us. Because no one has actually sat down and take the time out to explain to us a lot of things we've been doing. Just looking at the name Isaiah, English translation. What did we know the name Isaiah meant? All we knew was Thomas. Little short basketball player. That's about the message I know. Somebody said, well, what does Isaiah mean? I mean, Tom, I guess it means he can shoot. He's a point guard. Otherwise, I had to think about it. What reason did I have to look it up? There was nothing that aggravated, enticed me, you know what I'm saying, agitated, to stir up the pure mind by way of remembering, because it wasn't nothing to remember. I didn't know it. So now when I look, I'm looking at a book name. The book has a meaning. What am I looking for? That's amazing. The man going to use the dictionary encyclopedia to condemn us. Think about it, because we got enough sense to do that. But yet we'll have enough sense to look at someone that come on your salvation. Let's see what it says. Listen.
The debar which Yahuah, the ben of Ammuz, saw concerning Yehuda and Jerusalem.
So he saw, what was he doing? It's part of your teaching. Remember, whatever you heard, whatever written the foretime, written for your learning, which is to see, to instruct, and to tell. Let's see what happened.
Now it shall come to pass.
Hold on, we ain't got there yet. Now we there. Go ahead.
Now it shall come to pass.
When?
In the last Yamim.
So this is important for us, because he told us last, which is going to make this, what? Would it make it like an adverb? Yeah. Because it comes in, it denotes, it lets us know when. Isn't that right? It can just say, now it come to pass in the days. But now it's coming to give us a direction. That's what we look for. Even in English, they give you certain things, certain words they give you, preposition, like preposition. They have phrases or prepositions, or you got your adverbs, or you got your adjectives, and you got your nouns, which are it all breaks down the language for them so they understand things. Places and times and dates and significance. These make things certain significance. If I told somebody to go out to my car and get something, I mean, I might be sending to my car, but then they don't know what color it is, and I put the color of the car as an adjective because it denotes the car that you're looking for. Just like with Yahushua, in the book of Yahuah, in the first chapter, in 1:29, he said, behold, well, that's right, which taketh away. He was denoting something to let you know which one it was, pointing in a direction to let people know exactly what they've been looking for. Here it is. So we would look at that, and more, I guess, would be the yeah, we could go that way. Maybe preposition, because it kind of puts us over to a direction of. And these are things that's key for us realizing that what they gave us that we learned in English, now we're turning around and looking at how we use this to get back to an understanding of what was he trying to get us to do. And what is he trying to get us to understand? Y'all got it? A lot of these things come in that I just talk about a work as modifiers. Okay, a modifier changes things. Y'all got it? That's what Yahushua did. He was a modifier. You just don't realize it. He came and he gave us a better understanding about things. A lot of things we had things kind of set kind of way off and different, but he came in and modified a lot of things for it. His modification came in, the first thing we thought was that he had got rid of the Torah. The law was over with, but it wasn't over with. He just came in and modified, he changed some things to give us a better understanding. Y'all got it? And we start looking at how things work for us towards salvation, and it's important for us to look at that. Instead, like him, he's denoting the time period. So when should we be looking for this? Otherwise, he could just told us it's going to come to pass in the days. But since we know it's the last day, then there's certain things I'm going to start looking for. You ain't going to believe it. Who know what I'm going to be looking for? Good answer. Who? Sound. That's exactly. I'm looking for signs of the end. You just told me it's going to come to pass in the last day. So what should I be looking for? I'm going to be looking for odds. Those odds that I'm going to be looking for, which is the Abari word for signs, the odds I'm going to be looking for are going to denote the last days. Okay? You don't just tell me last days and that's it. When is it? Tomorrow? This week? Last day? Tell me what. So I need to know something about it. This is what I'm going to be looking for. Look what's going to happen.
The heart of the bet of Yahuah shall be established as the Rosh of the Harim.
The chief, the head. See, this is an Abari word. They're going to be set as the head, the chief, the captain of the Harim, the mountains. So there's going to be a mountain that's going to set higher than the others. Okay? Anybody got one? Hands. Good one. Come on, Ed, what you got? Good answer. That one on the 2. Yeah. Who you gonna say? Stone. That man said Stone Mountain. Man, that's a rock. Stone Mountain is a curved stone. What you gonna say? Saum. Saum would be considered what you call like a summit. Y'all heard these people, they said they having summits. Did y'all know what they were saying? They were trying to tell you that they was the head. They were basically telling you that they was the top. They were the pinnacle. That's what they would tell. When they had that, they tell you they having a G8 summit. They tell you those are the top of the head. That's the top of the people. That's why they have a G8. They don't have a G100. They're saying a G8, G9. They're saying we the top, we the head. So when you look at Zion, that they call Zion, see, that's the top. Zion is it. Y'all got it. So that's a certain thing we look. Let's see what he tells us. Let's see. Listen. Now it's going to come to pass in the last Yamin days that the Har, is the Hebrew word for mount, of the Beth, house of Yahuah, shall be established as the Rosh, as the captain, as the chief, as the head, and shall be
Kum
raised above
the hills,
uh-huh,
and all the Goyim shall stream to it.
See that? And they're going to flow. Ain't that right? Everybody going to stream. Ain't that right? Like these people doing watching me on the internet, they streaming now.
Right.
Ain't that right? He said everybody going to stream to it. Ain't right? There's going to be a massive flow move toward it. What's going to happen?
And many arms shall come and say, Come, let us go up to the Har of Yahuah, to the bed of the all of Yaakov, that he may lamed us concerning his Darakim.
See that? See that? See, toward the last day, get what people want to know now. What is his ways? Exactly what does he want us to do? Because you know what? You got to get out. You know what? Although all of us in the same room, everybody sometimes have a different ideology of what's right. See, the purpose of the internet was to put it down that it's restricted and that it's being taught so everybody had the same mind. In 1 Corinthians 1 about 10, he said, now I beseech you, our king, that you all speak. You can't speak the same thing. We all got different information. So now we palau, in which we pray. Palau is to pray, which means just to ask. We're all going to ask for different things because we see it differently. We got a different outlook. This is why we divide. Church is the same way. You watch people going to pick up people about, you'll see folks, well, I use this, I use this, I use this. This is better for me, this is better. But you got a teacher telling you, so everybody's reading something different, so everybody's going to do something. There's a different performance. There's going to be a different outcome because everybody's doing something different. Versus if we know the same thing, then we should be getting the same performance. But there has to be the same urgency for the desire of salvation as well. And that's something a lot of times that's not there. And it's not your fault. It's just, this is how the world been constructed. The world constructed to keep you away from thinking about salvation and think on other things. Other things you're thinking on, he controls them. The problems you worried about, the things you worry about coming up or diagnosed or something, he controls that too. And he needed you to know that so you don't allow things to pull you away. That's just, I really can't use him if I'm here and then I'm going to lose everything. I've been with you. He benefits me nothing. Because it's a loss to serve you versus it's a gain. Isn't that right? So even Shaul, who they call Paul, he even told them to live in the Mashiach, to die is what? I win on both ends. He said if I'm living to his benefit. If I moot, it's gain, because in order for me to grow, I have to moot. I got to die. But when you're looking at serving him is lost, dying is lost, how important is salvation to me? See, it's all about what you put on the list. Y'all got it? And most of the time, you'll put on the list like they do when they come down to top 10 hits. They're going to go with what everybody else choose, what the majority likes. Look, at sometimes y'all heard, he said, that wouldn't have been mine. We weren't going with you. We went with other people. And what you got to look at when it comes to salvation, you can't worry about what other people think, what other people are going to do. You have to really formulate a relationship with him for yourself. I'm talking about a real relationship for yourself where you can see the operations of Elohim, how he works for you. That's how I know he benefits me. I know how he works for me in situations I learned before I faint and quit. I learned to wait the outcome. I learned to see what's the lesson. Because in order for me to know him, I have to have a relationship. Now, these people are going to go and say, they see these things, they want to go up so they can, and they realize something, that he's going to teach them, limit them, instruct them, show them us concerning his darakim, the way, his different ways, and that we may walk halak in his
path.
In the path, which is still in the Darak. For the Torah shall go forth from Sa'un, the instruction, direction, and the Debar of Elohim from
Jerusalem.
Yeah, so we're getting directions. We understand where we had to come back to get it. We had to come back to Za'un. That's the other name they had for Yahushua, his salvation. That's what they had for. He was known as Sa'un. Ain't that right? So when he came down, guess what he was doing? He was teaching us concerning the law. That's what he was doing. He was teaching us concerning the law. So we understood it. So we understood where the modifications came in. Instead of people coming on telling us he got rid of this, he got rid of it. It's amazing Christian church pick all the stuff he got rid of except tithe. They conveniently run back to get rid of things. And all he was doing was coming to teach us so we understood it better. Because you realize part of the problem that you find with people is just people don't know. Listen, I've been a critic for years of people, especially our people, white people, other people as well. I've been a critic versus you sit down and you just realize a lot of things people just don't know. We really just don't know. Unless somebody take you and teach you. You know what's dangerous? We're out in society today with a bunch of people that we assume they know because they wear shirts and ties and dresses and hats and scarves and pocketbooks and drive or wear expensive shoes. These people have no clue what's going on. Everybody's more or less just operating, and they don't know the proper way to operate. Look how far off guided the whole world is. Why y'all think we've been hit with all these storms and floods and colds? Why? Because they're looking at they don't know. They don't consider. This is how this conversation came into play. That these people need to come see me so I can teach them so they would know me. So they will recognize their demise. The sad part, people don't recognize it. I go to the doctor, they tell me, hey, I got cancer from smoking. And you ain't gonna believe it. I'm gonna smoke another cigarette. What that stupid joker know? He don't know nothing, no how. So I keep going. No, I've been told, son, you're dying. You contracted something now that's going to be your demise. And what I do, I add fuel to the fire. How many of y'all think that's a stupid idea for me to smoke when he just told me I got cancer and I got it smoking? How many of y'all felt good, stupid idea? So all he tell us we're doing something that go contrary, why you keep doing it? Could you actually be smarter than me? Or you be as dumb as I am for smoking when they told me I got cancer? And the cancer type I have is from smoking. The man is telling you your destruction is because of your kata'im, your sins, and you still doing it. How did you become smarter than me? And in your mind, you saying, that's just dumb. There's no way I would still be smoking. Man just told me I'm smoking, I got cancer. Why would I be smoking? That's just stupid. He want to die. The man tell you you're committing sin, kata, that you're going to die. Why would you still be committing it? Because it ain't smoking. See, what we fall for is the obvious. We look at the obvious. We don't look at what he telling us is obvious. It's just because we're so blinded by other things that we deal with, the people we deal with in our association that we keep in our, what's their conversation? What's their belief? The majority of people we deal, what's their belief? Rosha, he's saying Rosha things. This is just a conversation that's not conducive or no thinking pattern toward this. So they're going to be more of an influencer. And because that's not priority on their page or something, how you doing, man? Man, I'm just trying not to go to Sheol and burn forever. Who you deal with on an everyday basis, talk like that? So that's not. That's not. Most people we deal with, they mind totally somewhere, their conversation totally somewhere, which does what? Draws the mind. Then you realize, I'm watching all these people, that's not something they look like. They don't look like they worry about it. Maybe I shouldn't be worried about it. Maybe I shouldn't be taking it to that mouth. You don't literally say it, but you just look at all these people drive. You look on the spread, we don't see people sitting there break down, crying, get their car. I don't want to burn forever. Them people riding, them folks, but get the blank out the way. They got music jumping, they got smoke coming in the car, you see folks drinking, you see people just riding, you see so much going on, till it looks like it's really not practical for you to keep your mind just set so based on salvation. That's really not maybe need to be kind of top of the list. Maybe kind of work it in. You know what I'm saying? You work it in, like they said, get it in when you can. Sometimes you can't get in like you want to, Jacob. Because one thing about our show, appreciate him, he know your heart. So you bought into that. Where that say at? He know your heart, so don't worry about it. But we know this as a conversation. He know what I want to do, though. He know what I want to do. Exactly. And guess what? And you did it. And you did it. So the thing becomes for us, when you do set yourself toward it, and then you start to look at your kind of veer, and it tend to happen with people over the course of time, association with people, the different things that happen, he allows things to happen and disrupt your ways. disrupt the plans you got. You know why that is? That's how I get your attention. I get your attention this way. When something uncertain happens and you look around the world, now you got to start doing all the math, averages, or protocol, high stuff, having laws of averages. This is the odd, this don't make sense. And then they start saying, think about it, it make a whole lot of sense. Because I'm trying to get your attention. And the only way to get your attention was to let something disrupt that don't make sense, that breaks the laws of averages. Because he got people, they bet off averages. Some folks bet on color. Some people bet on who they like. If people that bet professionally, they do averages. I do how you play in a higher atmosphere versus you do in the plains. You play different in California than you do in Florida. Both of them are hot weather, because it's high elevation. Utah is high elevation. So a lot of times your breathing not good. You say, man, I play better. So some folks like that. They play better at home. Look at the condition at home versus where they out playing. Same game. It's just certain things play more to your advantage. Certain things play more to your disadvantage, right? That's what Mr. Yahuah is trying to get us to realize. Things aren't working out for you because it's not to your advantage. See, things are working to your disadvantage because I need you to consider. You play better, you ain't going to believe it, at home. Meaning you need to get back to Elohim because that's what he had at home. You out on the road. You don't do well on it. How y'all know team? How many of y'all sports fans? How y'all got teams that some of y'all realize they don't play good at home? Or some might play better at home than they do out? You don't know that what you thinking, if I beat you here, why I can't beat you in California? Right. Why I can't beat you? I beat him. Right. Because when I get there, conditions are different. See, you trying to play and the conditions don't favor you. Instead of recognizing that, I don't play my best out here with you. I play my best at home. So I got to start looking at the playing field. I got to start looking at the conditions. I got to look at the stipulation this man gave me because all of this is critical to your salvation. The fact that he's going to bring these people and they're going to do what? Where they said they were going? Where they said they were going? Going where? Top. They ain't play good at the bottom. You ain't going to believe where the Shabbat at. It's sit at the top. It's the pinnacle. It's a high elevation. You ain't going to believe the tour where it's at. It's at the top. That's why I need to get you. I'm trying to get you at the top. You don't work well at the bottom. We done did laws of averages. When you're in the bottom, you lose. When we fought the war, Mushah, he was there. He sat, and 2 men sat on the side of him. What happened when we were down? The hands were down. What happened when the hand was up? Son, we work better in high elevation. Are we catching it? When the man come back, we're going to meet him down in the ground. Where are we going to meet him? Elevation where we do our best at. We do our best elevated. When Yahushua was there, that's why his arms were up. You do your best when you up. Start looking at your laws of averages when it works better for you. But you don't. You keep working in the worst conditions. And you keep blaming it on he not for you. Look at your conditions. Let's look at Colossians chapter 3. They call it, well, it is Colossians. Y'all ain't going to believe it. It ain't going to be before y'all long. That's tight. Some of y'all going to get a check. Listen, I appreciate it. I'm on, what is it, hyena? Hee! What that thing, man? Yeah. Hee! I'm on hyena. So, Colossians 3:1. First of all, let's look at what a modifier is. Look at the definition for a modifier. That heater not on, is it? Modifier, take partial or minor changes to something, typically so as to, or to make it. Guess what he did? People don't look at, that's what we were talking about with the adverb and different things. Those are what they call modifiers. They're modifiers. That's what Yahushua was. He was a modifier. He took the law, he just made some changes that made it less extreme. Right. He looked at this is extreme. I used him before I used Caleb. Caleb led up him. Caleb hypothetically get up, he falls out, he on the ground. He passing out. Well, y'all, what's the day? Shabbat. Well, I can't do no rest. We resting. If he can hold out till the sun come out, we call the ambulance for him. That's it. He stopped breathing. We'll do him mouth to mouth. That is extreme, isn't it? And Yahushua tried to tell him. He said, which of you? He said, you have an ox or a lamb, Father did. He said, which one? He said, y'all straight where you pull it out on Shabbat. He said, you telling me Caleb ain't more important than a lamb or ox?
Right.
So what did he do? The first, oh no, that man done destroyed the law. He done tore the law up. He said, no, son, I'm just modifying. You guys are extreme. He said, you guys have gone extreme. Why would you not help this man? They accused the man of committing qatar because he healed a man who laid at the pool. It was on Shabbat. Right. He said, this man been bound for 35 years. I told the man to pick up his bed. You broke Shabbat. You a ranked sinner if I ever seen one. He said, come on, son. Are you serious? Who would want to be loose? Right. So it was so important for him to come to show us how to make partial changes. Partial changes. First thing Christian churches got extreme. I thank God Jesus came and got rid of the law. I don't know how we can't kill today then. I don't know why we can't steal. Churches are so hypocritical. Why we can't steal? It shouldn't be a law against it. The laws in the court come from the book. Yet the Old Testament done away. I'm so confused. Because they don't know how to explain, and instead of asking, they continue and keep going down. Okay, let's see what he told them. So we understand that make partial minor changes to something typically so as to improve it or make it less. That's what we're trying to do. That's all he came to do. So once we understand the terminologies and understand what he can do, because modify it to get it out. Get it out. No, son, calm down. Modify it just to make some partial changes to where it's not so extreme. Y'all got it? So you can kind of drop you. The problem we had, people use words on for years. And you know we just said? They said, what I just tell you? You'll repeat the word. No, what does it mean? What you said. Repeat the question. You heard it. Because to be honest with you, they dumbed us down. And we looked and we asked. It seemed like these folks, like, if we knew like it was going to kill something, if we know, then we're more certain to not violate. When we don't know, it's certain that we will violate it. Because I don't know what you said. I don't care if you used it in a sentence. I don't understand the full just meaning of it to know enough to say, I understand now to where I don't err. That's the whole purpose why he wanted to teach his way. He said, my way is though a man don't err. Think about this. This is what I had to look at. Go and sin no more. I read that stuff, I just keep moving. I said, that's what he said. I don't know how they're going to do that one. Because what they taught us, we're born sinners. Therefore, you got to sin. So he just told somebody, go and sin no more. That's crazy. And you know what that's crazy with it? How about he hadn't even get a Ruach HaKodesh out yet? Yet he told him to go and sin no more. And which is crazy because then you have a man like EU, they call Job. The man's name is Job. Please don't tell nobody, man. Now you need to get your degree and hit toe up. J-O-B is Job. I don't know how you got no Job with no J-O-B. Just stop it. The man's name is EU. It means persecuted. Isn't that right? So what that man mean persecuted, yet this man was found to not commit sin. So you can not commit sin without having the Ruach HaKodesh. If that's not the case, why did he kick Adam and Ka'ur out the garden? He just said, y'all don't have the Ruach HaKodesh. So I couldn't expect y'all not to sin. He said, didn't I tell you? Because you were taught, you knew better. Why we whip our kids? They ain't got the Ruach HaKodesh. Why we expect our kids not to do? Hold on. Why do we whip our kids? Because we taught them. We showed you. The Ruach HaKodesh is a seal on a clean line. I just sealed it. But you have to have compliance before you get it. Who I can't wait to get the Ruach HaKodesh that they call the Holy Ghost on the what they for. You see a ghost run for your life. We know nothing about this stuff. This is all Christian answer they gave us. It's called a Ruach HaKodesh, which means it's the spirit of separation. Okay? So the Ruach HaKodesh, you only receive it. Let me see. He gives that to, hold on a second, 532 right quick, Acts of the Shalakim. They call apostles. We don't know what apostles are. I know what an impostor is. Shalakim means sent ones. This stuff these folks ran with these big robes and hats on. All they're doing is making a fool out of our people. The correct word is Shalakim. That means sent ones. That's what they were known, because he told you these 10, Yahushua sent forth. That means they were shalaked. He sent them forth. That's all it means. Yahushua was a shalak because Elohim sent him into the alarm. Say, get these work. First thing you look, apostle, powerful. Just stop being stupid, okay? These are people that he sent, okay? That's all it means. They tell you all this other stuff. I don't know where these people get it from. This is Acts of the Shalakim. Let's see. Let's see that you start obeying after you get it, before you get it. Acts 5:32. Listen.
And we are his witnesses of these matters.
Make it 30. Give me 30 since we're there right now.
Yes, sir.
Verse 30. Let's see what 30 is saying. Listen.
The all of our aboth, cum up Yahushua.
Aboth means fathers, plural. That's the they put aboth new our for our. The u is for our fathers. Raised up, cumed up Yahushua,
whom you laid hands on him and hanged on an ox.
We hung him on the ox, on the tree.
The one had the Elohim exalted
See,
to
that's
his,
the one Elohim exalted to what?
his right hand.
So guess why he exalted him to his right hand? Who know why? Yeah, no, that's how you win. You win in elevation. Elevation worked for you. That's the one Elohim exalted. So it makes sense to bring you up. Hello? I mean, look at elevation work for you. This is the one Elohim exalted. See, it worked for him too, because he looked at what worked for him. It worked for him being exalted. This is the one that Elohim exalted and put him at his yamin, his right hand, to be a
Sar,
which is a ruler.
and a Yasha,
See, that to be a savior, to give.
repentance to Yasharal.
See, all this that happens, think about it. Certain things are decreed by certain people in position. What kind of janitor decree? Or the janitor walking out, you in school, go to the office and get your diploma. Who says that? The janitor. Get your stupid self out of him. That ain't gonna fight it. Y'all ain't in no position to do that. I went to open camp, we had a principal down. That white man, his name was Dr. Muller. He was big old white. He be drunk too. He be walking around, he be like, he said, when you supposed to get out of him? Like they call, he said, you coming out. I said, Dr. Muller said, I'm leaving him. I ain't care what my teacher. I guess he got tired of seeing. He see that Dr. Muller see you. He be walking around that hall. He look at you. He said, when you supposed to come out? He be like, I'll come out there. Come. He said, you coming out. You out of here. I don't know who he talked to, but I felt good. He was the Jesus when I was in high school. That white man was Jesus. He get you out of there. Dr. Marvin said you out of there. That was it, boy. I'm leaving here this semester. So this is what we looked at. So a person, the reason why you need to look at him being a shah, because typically, just like the books being written. See, unlike what people think, the only way typically how things were set, what we call a Bible could be written, a couple of things had to be done. The people Elohim had to agree on that, okay? They had to agree on it, and also you needed the rulership. You needed somebody in rule to say it can be done. That's why they got King James. He was first King James of Scotland. He the first King James of England, okay? He was James of Scotland. He became the first King James of England. So that's why they approached him on writing the book, because they needed him to be able to give credence to saying, it can be done. You can't just go and say, now you can. You just write a Bible in public. Back then, you had to see them. The people Elohim had to agree that this is definitely lines in inner lines to what he said. We concur with it. Okay. So putting him in that position gave you the authority. We had somebody in authority say, I rule, I mandate, it can be done. Because you didn't forget. No, who can forgive it? Think about this. Okay, I'm in the state of Georgia. I got some arrests on my record. So a police can come along and he can take it off, can't it? Can a police take it off? A police, yes, police he can stop, I can stop a police, a traffic call. I said, listen, I did some stuff before, and he said, hold on, come on, stop. He said, yeah, go ahead, you good. And come on, keep trying to keep traffic. So police can do that, can it? Take the governor. The governor has to pardon me. So you ain't gonna believe in the 9th chapter of the book of Yahuah, Yahuah's salvation, 9 and 6 told her, unto us a child was born, unto us a son was given. And you ain't gonna believe it. The government's going to be on his shoulder. He's going to have the authority to give you forgiveness of Kataim because nobody else can do it. The only people we had could do it before, had to be one of our own, had to be a Kohan. That's because he offered gifts according to the Torah, the instruction, the direction that he gave us. This man could get you forgiveness of Kataim. So it was important that this man, not only being from Yehudah, which will tie him to Yasharal. He also was related to the tribe of Louis. They called the Levites, which means the Kohan came from Louis, which means that a Kohan that they call a priest could forgive Kataim. And so could a ruler. So he had to make sure it was covered on every end. That when I told you were forgiven for your kata, that's why he told one man, he said, your sin be forgiven. They said, what you say? He said, oh, I had said sin forgiven. They're like, you can't forgive no, where you get that from? He said, well, which is easier? He said, I could have told him, be healed. He said, I told him sin was forgiven. He said, I did that, which one was easier? He said, the reason I did it, so you know I had authority to do that. That he was healed off the basis of the fact that I said his sin was forgiven. Because guess what? That's what was holding him down. So you needed somebody, if you were honestly seeking salvation, they could cover every end. I need somebody that ain't got no stipulation. He got the government on his shoulder so he can pardon me. He also tied into the tribe of Louis, the Luim, and that's where the Kohan come from. So a Kohan that they call a priest can forgive Kataim. And then he ruled. That's how he was able to make the water be able to swim still. They don't know what manner of man is that even the wind and the wave obey him. He said, I'm a Shah, I'm a ruler. And when I rule over everything. So all of these things were important for people who were seeking him for salvation, to know that your deliverance is not just on one end. I can deliver you from everything. I can change your situation. I can fix your health, your strength. That's what shalom is. So shalom. People just saying, we're talking about health, prosperity, and wealth. These are three things we need. Sickness, he said, I can take it from among you. Shalom. He came to the poor of the people. Shalom. I can make them wealthy. Isn't that right? I can establish, I can give you peace. I can give you calm. The average person needs it. Think about it. You go to the hospital, you see, along with the operation, along with the medication, along with the IV they give you, what are they going to prescribe? Rest. Rest. Also, I'm going to need that check. What did he say? He said he's going to get a bill. Oh, yeah. That's going to be the next lesson. That'll be the next. That will teach about the bill on the next Shabbat, Shabbat. But see, these are the things that we're trying to look at, what he can do for us. Y'all got it? It's like people making campaign promises. When people run for office, they usually tell you what they can do, and typically they're going to look at what's the need of the people. What's the condition of people? That's how you wind up selling people on voting for you. Because they're based on people saying they're addressing needs that I have concerns about. Well, that's what Yahushua came to do. And the one way it'd be effective was it, sometimes people that, we don't need another politician, we need one of our own. That's why we got him. Yeah. We needed somebody who understood our conditions. That's right. That's what we understood. The writings teach us in the book of Abraham that we don't have a Rosh Kohan that can't fill our infirmities. Right. What did he do? What did he do in order to fill our infirmities? That's right. He had to take on the form of a ish, of a man. And taking on the form of an ish, guess what he was? He was prone to. Guess what EU said about a man? He said a man is subject to sin just like the sparks fly up. You hit something, spark fly, they just shoot up. He said that's how men have it. So that man came in, I already know I'm prone for this, but I'm going to break it. I'm going to break the ideology of how man thinks. Right. By resisting. Right. Yeah. By resisting. And that was only because he saw something greater. It wasn't because, oh, I'm just going to do it. No, something was offered greater. If you don't look at salvation greater than my job, okay, my job paid me a nice substantial amount of money. So, and I miss work, I lose a lot of money. I ain't going to be able to come. Who know why? I love money? No, I got to look at the way. Coming here don't pay enough. See, you got to weigh it. Why people do what they do. Look at, let's just do, if my job paid me more, why would I lose money to be here? Unless this is a bigger gain. So people, the reason why people don't, or you serve the way you serve, because you don't see the gain. You're looking at what you see now. You see monetary, some in your bank, some in your hands, some you buy now. You're not looking at, you just seconds away, you minutes away, you a day away from you out of here, and you got a life that's going to be lived a whole lot longer than this. But that's how the psychosis of the world works. It's based on dealing with things you need this dealt with now. When this ain't dealt with now, I got to deal with something. I had to deal with that later. Right now, this is more pressing. When Yahuah told you about a man had created a feast, and he started to invite all these people to come, what was the reason? They said, F it. No, they had other things that were more pressing. One said, I just bought a piece of property. He said, I got to go see it. Who buys something? I need to go check it out. Surely you understand that. Another one said, I just taken a wife. And according to the Torah, you couldn't charge a man with business for 1 full year. When a man was first married, you could not charge him with business for 1 full year. And he'll come help me. You said, I just got married 3 months ago. Not you, let me get him. Because for a year, he can't be involved. He has to be home and cheer up his wife. Now, because we don't let the stamina and then put that stuff in the food, now we cut it down, modified it. You get 2 hours. Hour and 50 minutes going to be bathing. You ain't did all that in the bedroom. I mean, we're here to modify it. Man, what are we going to do a whole year around that house? We're going to tear more than we're going to fix. So like I said, modify it so it don't be so extreme. So now we start to look at how we have to look at things and how we prioritize things. So having the knowledge of Elohim, of the Mighty One, is important for us to have an understanding of and looking at things when things happen, not allowing these things to be greater than what he's already done, somewhat predicted for us to let us know how the outcome of this whole thing gonna come. Knowing the outcome gives us an advantage. Think about it. If I just had to do everything, we do know the right and say we walk by how we walk by and not by. So I'm gonna pull my eyes out. No, don't be stupid. That's what people do, and all the time they using their eye. It just they want to get stupid. They want how they walking by faith and not by sight. So he do know we're people. We sight things, okay? We sight appearances. That's why he put signs. He said in the Shamaim, in the heights expansion, and I put them here on the right so you can see them, and you can start to see how things start to come together. Just like I told you, things start to transition. Just like we seeing the riots now, we seeing how the wars and rumors of war. Everything he said, all of this to begin. So I'm letting you know now. Guess where people get ready to flow? Why? Because you see, instead of just walk around, people predicted in the 70s. This the last day. They had some white preacher, he came, like y'all too young, told them California was going to break off and go back in the ocean. Y'all remember in the 70s? California still attacked. If I had something, I'd cut it off. California should have been cut off. So the whole thing becomes, so everybody been trying to predict, but they hadn't looked at the signs. So they just been speculating and throwing things out. First, I don't want you to be guessing. I want you to look at what I told you. Because it's going to happen just like I told you. Y'all got it. And these people don't sit down and they don't consider these things. So it's important for us to look at these signs. That's how we know. Okay? Come on, finish this up. Yeah, we finished that 51? 31?
No, sir.
Oh, thank you. The one
had the Elohim exalted to his right hand to be a Sar and a Yasha.
What did that make him? Right hand. That made him Benjamin. Benjamin is what that made him. That means son of my right hand. So that's important for you to know. Because we were going to look at how was he going to be Yehuda and connected over to Louis, and then we're going to tell you that he was Benjamin. That's a different tribe. But all Benjamin meant was son of my right hand. So I just told you how he got there. I put him there. So I made him Benjamin. He was also offering, fruitful. Hello?
Yes, sir.
He was also fruitful. If he wasn't, how did you get him? Hello? How did you get him if he wasn't? Hello? I'm just curious. Who impregnated him? So he was an ox. It made sense to hang him on the tree, didn't it?
Yes, sir.
Because where's the tree seed at?
In itself.
In itself. They only threw the spear through because that's what you know. But the seed was in itself. Mm-hmm. Hello? Goodness, y'all act like y'all half dead or something. And to give
repentance to Yasharal
and
forgiveness of Kataim.
Tell them what else happened.
And we are his witnesses of these matters. And so also is the Ruach HaKadosh, whom Elohim has given to those who obey him in his call.
His sound. That's what we heard, his sound. So we talked about before, it's important when you listen to this sound to understand and differentiate between them. You got people that have jobs doing sonar, where they listen to different sounds. Well, Yasharal were the first people that had to know sounds. Even when it came down to the Torah, to the shofar, when it sounded, we had to know the different sounds. Y'all know that? So he wants to listen to it. It's called, right quick, 10th chapter of the book of Bamidbar, they call Numbers. They call it Numbers, would make no sense, because it ought to have more than what they got. Numbers didn't stop. How many books in what they call Numbers? 50? 29, 30? How many now? I guess that's how they could count back then, huh? Got a book called Numbers. They only went to 36. Oh shit. The proper name is Bamidbar. Ten and 1. Listen.
Yahuah spoke to Moshe, saying, make yourself 2 kasosar of silver of hammered work, you shall make them.
So he told them to take them, and he wanted them to make 2 shofar, which are the trumpets, the ram horn that they took. Or no, these would have been the katosarah. These would have been the metal ones. So he wanted to take 2 of them. They're going to be made of silver. And they're going to be of hammered work. With what?
You shall make them.
That's how you're going to make it with hammer. So how you hammer? Anybody know how you hammer? Can somebody show me how you hammer? How you hammer? Good. Because that's what they did to Yahushua. They were beating him with their fists. That's how they made him too. That was the purpose of why they were beating him with their fists. You didn't know why? How you hammer? And they took their fists. They were striking him with their fists because they were hammering him. You'll say that sometimes people fight. What they might say? Man, he hammered that guy. Did he literally have a hammer in his hand? What was he doing? He was beating him. So you didn't understand what they were doing. Because he just told you to do it. He wants you to do it with beat it works. See, these are signs, but when you don't know, you're thinking, well, I'm going to believe it. He been beat up. He can't defend himself. No, I'm trying to take 1 and I'm going to make 2. Well, how I'm going to make 2? I'm going to beat it. Take a hammer and I want you to beat it. Listen. This before Michael Jackson. Listen, now some folk guilty of beating their hammer. He didn't say that. He said, take the hammer and beat the. They're trying to put it out there now, come on.
And they shall be to you for the kara of the Adah and for having the camps set out.
Now listen what these 2 are going to be used for. They're going to be using for calling the assembly together, calling the Adah, right, the congregation together, and they're going to be they for the going out. So this is why this is important for us. Listen.
And when they blow with them, all the Adah shall gather themselves to you at the doorway of the tent of appointment.
See that? Or the doorway. That's the door. That's the door. The door is usually the entrance way, either going in or going out. That's why it was important when Yahushua told you who he was. He said, truly, truly, I am the who? That's right. So when we sound the Kato Sarah, when we stand it, because we're supposed to be listening. He said, this is how you witness. Those that obey and those that hear my sound. These are the people that's going to get the Ruach HaKodesh. People say, that's stupid. I ain't got time to be doing all that standing up. Don't worry about it, because it's stupid to give you the Ruach HaKodesh too. Because I'm only giving it people that obey, that hear the sound. So these are things that hurt Adam, because he didn't obey. He did tell you that he heard. Then he said, he did. He said, I heard the sound. He said, when you came, he said, I heard your call. But what was he convicted of? Of not obeying. He said, I did not tell you not to do it. So this is where we'll get it at. Or when they sound it, I be standing up. Do you be obeying when you hear the word?
Yeah.
See, look who he said he give it to now. Those that obey and that's conjunction, that hear the call. Because no doubt, you blow it. If you ain't deaf, you'll hear this. Problem going to be will you obey it. Listen.
Yet, if they blow with 1, then the leaders, the heads of the thousands of Yasharal, shall assemble before you.
So when y'all hear 1 blow, I want everybody to get up and go and assemble at the door. So let me ask you something. So if we hear 1 blow, if everybody get up and go to the door, What we're gonna say? We ain't hear the sound. What's the problem? We didn't obey. You see where it go? Because folks are running the one that's easier. Oh, I ain't stupid. I know I can get this right. Oh, you stupid, because I told you not only hear, I told you to do too. That's what I'm going to give it to. Those that do and those that hear. Listen.
But when you blow an alarm, the camps that are pitched on the Kadim side shall journey.
So that on the east side, they shall journey. People that stand on the east side, that's who will go. So the west side, what they going to do? They going to go with Tupac and Suge in them. Suge, right? West side got to stay where they at. I told the people on the east to get up and go. See, this going to be all compliant to hearing and obeying. Come on.
When you blow an alarm the second time, the camps that are pitched on the south side shall journey. An alarm is to be blown for their journey.
See that? That's how the south side know the time for them to go. Isn't that right? When it's an alarm sound, the second time. Come on.
When the assembly, the kahal, is gathered together, you shall blow, but you not blow an alarm.
Tell them what happened.
The Beni of Aharon, the Kohanim, shall blow the Kasosarah.
You say anybody, he said, get whoever can blow, who got the biggest lips, like Louis Armstrong. Is that what he said?
The Beni of Aharon, the Kohanim, shall blow the Kasosarah. And they shall be to you for a perpetual statute throughout your Tuledah.
See that? They were supposed to keep that. That's why we still put it up and do it, because these were things he wanted us to acknowledge. That when you heard them, you knew who was supposed to move. You know who was supposed to go, so it was going to show your obedience as well or not, whether you had opened your ear, as EU said, to discipline, that you understood it. And this is what hurt us over a course of time, because we've done things. He said, I hadn't told you. He even told when he sent the Nabaim, he said, I hadn't sent them. He said, they ran. He said, I hadn't spoken to them, yet they started the bull. He said, had they stood in my counsel, had caused the people to hear my words, then they would have turned them. Because they'd have knew what came from me, they'd obeyed it. But you fooled them and gave them a different word, a dialect, and you told me it came from me. So it's important even for the preacher to be where he's in communication. See, it's important for us to align ourselves in the communication. Y'all know that? Sometimes you can do it with cups. Let me tell you what you do. You can create your own sometimes. Like you take cups, you can do it in elementary, you get them, and you tie a string inside of it, and tie the knot one go out, and you tie another, and then you keep it tight. And you could talk in and they put it in, you can hear them. But you have to keep it tight. If it's loose, it won't work as a conductor to carry sound. Am I correct, science teacher? You think about it? Yeah, you heard about it. It's in my day. That's before y'all come. Now they got walkie-talkies. Before we couldn't afford them, you took a string, you took no phone call, you tie it where it don't go, you pull it through, tie it, and you tie it through over, and you got to hold it just enough to keep. You watch Super Friend. Super Friend taught us. So you kept it tight. You remember, and they hold the cup. You got to hold it tight. The string stay tight. If you talk in the cup, the person on the other end putting their ear, they can hear it. So you know what the object you had to do? Keep it tight. Got to keep it tight. If you let the string get a little drag in it, little, it won't work. You'll say, man, what's wrong when I'm doing it? Because it ain't keeping it tight. So with Yahuah, that's why he make us keep it tight to the line. He said, judgment also will I lay to the line. And Sadiq, I'm gonna plumb it. So that the plummet, you take a string and you stretch it, you pull it up and you pop the ground. I'm a builder by trade. When it pop the ground, it leave a straight line mark. That's where you start laying your bricks. We're going to build. When you pop the plummet, put it down, they already know, lay the bricks to the line. You don't put them on the line, lay them to the line. I know people, I can put brick, I never trust you. I don't care if you've been doing it 50 years, I don't trust you. Put that plummet on it. Because once you tie that line straight and you pull it up and it pop the ground, pow, one time pop, we got it. Lay it to the line. That's what Yahuah said, lay it to the line. See, all these things he said was important for us. That's how we know how to do it. That's how we know how to build. He told you and building up yourselves. Well, first thing we got to do, we got to set a plummet. So you know how to build up yourselves. You got to know how to lay because you need a foundation. See, all these things that don't seem important, you play a vital part. Yasharal was skilled in all these areas. So when he came across and started explaining things he wanted them to do, they knew because they knew it from natural occurrence and events. See, you just try to know everything spiritually and you start fabricating things, your man like Hagin, dragging. There's impossible to be a dragon simply because they don't exist. They would have never knew nothing about no dragon, spit no fire. This stuff come from Middle Ages. This come from white folks and dungeons, and you done made a fool out yourself with all this stuff because they gave it to you. You just bought it and you believed it. There's something walking around with an arrow tip on his tail, with a bunch of triangles running down his back, and he spit fire, and he on just still like this. This how he move around. He's spitting fire. Just stop it. You better off believing in Godzilla. And why you think they left him in Japan? They little people. You think he can eat all these fat Americans? That Joe been so tired and burnt out of all that pollution. But got you with your big stupid lizard. It ain't about to stop in America. We got to keep going. And I don't know why. I mean, Japanese people just look fun to eat up. But you see, these are the things we're trying to get ourselves to knowing and realizing. So listen what he told you. When you go to war in your land against the adversary who attacks
you,
this is what he wants you to do.
then you shall call an alarm with the Kasosawar, that you may be remembered before Yahuah your all and be saved from your enemies.
See that? That's what we had to do. See, listen, you ain't gonna believe it. He told Yeshayahu to cry aloud, sa'ak aloud. Spare not, lift up your voice. Your voice is gonna be that sound. You're gonna lift it up like a kato sarah. Isn't that right? And you can show my people their transgressions. And the house of Yaakov, they need to know what their transgression, what their sins are, their kataim is. See, all these things, he got them sounded to be minded of. They knew. These people hear the kato sarah, they knew, I need to be listening. Whenever they hear it, because I need to know if I need to move or not. I need to know if this is a sound for war for us. I know if it's a sound for the whole assembly to be gathered. So when he come back and when he sound, we know that's going to be an alarm to be gathered. There's an alarm sound going to be given out to let us know that war is coming. So you might be listening for the natural one, but he also told the Isha Elohim that he need to be able to lift up his voice like one. So he can show the people. So a lot of times people don't want you to yell and holler. They want you to talk nice like Creflo Dollar and them and be sweet to them. But at the same time, people don't take a warning like that. A lot of times he just be yelling and fussing, but he said that's how you got to show them their kataim. See, when they were sitting and they actually had their first encounter with Yahuah on a personal level, that they had actually gotten the Torah, which was the law, that told them, they heard the thunder. Yes, they saw their rock start quaking. Yes, and those people were moved. Yes, it moved them out of the place, and that's when they yelled him. They feared him. See, the problem we had, people don't fear him. Because people looking at forgiveness is always there. It's not always open. It told you to seek Yahuah while he may. Call your opponent while he is. Both of those are telling me two things. If I'm telling you to do it while I'm near, because I'm finna go. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to meet, you better hurry up. I'm finna leave. Right. I ain't gonna be like, well, take your time and lay on down and take a nap. I'll be gone by the time you get up. Yeah. He said, call upon me while I'm what? Because I'll be so far gone, I won't even hear you. Yeah. So all these things are important to make sure you stay in a certain contrary relationship. Relationships, let me see what the definition of a relationship. I'll try to let y'all go. I just want to make sure we get an understanding. You get a whole lot of nice broad word, but you don't get an understanding gonna help it. This is a relationship. The way in which two or more concepts, objects, or people are connected or state, or the state of being connected. That's what we're supposed to be in a relationship with Yahuah. And that's the way in which two or more concepts, objects, or people are connected, or the state of being connected. That's what we're going to take. People, that's what we're going to look at, relationship. So we're going to look at what more or less makes our relationship. Yahuah be with us when? But we turn from him. So you can have a relationship, but if you break and you go a different way, the relationship is off. How many of y'all want a relationship with Yahuah? Then be with him while he be with you. That's right. How many of y'all want to break off your relationship with Yahuah? So how you going to break it off? So since we know, so when we start to do that, now he got to look at this. Is this intention? My relationship is based on me and you being right here, me and you be together. Got it? So now turn away from me, it's over with, right? Okay. Oh, man, what I done did. Oh, man, I done sinned. Lord, forgive me, Jesus. What in the world I done done? I didn't know that. I didn't know that before I turned and went away. Yeah. What am I hollering, Lord, now, Jesus, forgive me, all this stuff. That's why he told us. So now we start to get into, now we start willfully doing something. In the 11th chapter of the book of Abarim, they call Hebrews in 26, he said, now if we could talk willfully, after that we receive the knowledge of the amount. He said, there is no sacrifice for that. What can I offer? I knew what I was doing when I did. We just set the stipulation that he going to be with me while I be with him. But if I turn, who turned? Did he turn? Who turned? Lord Jesus, I done messed up, forgave me. Oh, I want to give him repent. Oh, my, let me talk. I want to confess something to the people right quick. See, now, this is the purpose of giving us knowledge. He realized why people made mistakes. Why people make mistakes? Because people don't look at conditions or how this relationship stays volatile. Well, not volatile. Volatile when it's not stable. It's become volatile because we start doing things that disrupt it. We start disrupting relationship. The relationship is contingent upon me keeping certain protocols, him keeping certain protocols, him keeping it based upon me keeping what he said. He said, I'm keeping my word the whole time. Okay? I look this way. Come in for a bar, man. Come on, son. This is the way I'm going to look. Okay? Stay in my sight. Get in my sight. You want me to see? I'm going to say, the only thing going to mess this up is you. Okay? Now, I want you to be still. Start moving a little bit. You still stay in my sight. I want you to be still, okay? That condition, stay in my sight. All right, start moving. I tell you to be still, but come on, man. Come on, this is something. Relationship. Two or more concept objects together. He got to put a check on that board. Somebody else. Kater, come on. I'm going to give you that. Come on, Kater. Kater said, I don't want to mess up. Kater, your name on the board. It's on the board. He can do it. Can't he do a job without getting a check? We'll see. So in my sight is doing, always stay in my, you'll stay in my sight. So my deal is with you. I'm going to continue to look that way. This ain't hard for you to do. All you got to do is I say, you stay right there in the way. That's it, all right? Now, I'm going to want you to be still, but you want to move. But you still stay right there. You still stay right here and move, though. Sway. You can sway. Yeah, that's it. But he in my sight. Because my deal is with him that he'll stay here, and I'm going to continue to look that way. So this ain't hard. He stay in my sight. Now, I want you to stand up right. You'll start bending down because that's something you want to do or whatever. Start leaving and say, yeah, I want him because I made him upright. So he's still in my sight. So this is how we do it. Now, eventually I get to a point where, you know what, this ain't working for me. So you ain't got to worry about it. I'm going to move you out my sight. And I still keep looking where I'm at. Now, you know, he tell all his friends, I'm so glad the Lord be watching over me. The Lord, he keep his eyes on you the whole time, no matter what he do. I'm aware of what he's doing. I'm knowledgeable about what he's doing, but I won't look to him or look over him for his welfare. So he'll find here that he's been moved, that things don't work as well as it did when it was here. That's all to get him to work himself back him. And this time, when I tell him, don't move, you ain't going to believe it. When I told him I want him to stay upright, that would be because of what happened when he was put him, and he realized that there are events that happen because I'm not looking out for his care, his welfare. He realized, if I can get myself back, if I make it back there, you ain't never got to worry about me getting back out of his sight. And this tends to happen to us, and he allowed it to happen because sometimes you don't appreciate. When he been here all this time doing that, he been having the fame. One thing, unlike you, he watching over me. Don't you want to be where I'm at? But then the whole time looking at it, he's irritating me because he's doing it in vain. Right. He's not taking me at my full accountability of my word to not move when I tell him don't move. When I told him I made him upright, to stay upright, for some reason, he want to go here, he want to go here, he want to go here. And that ain't what I made him to do. So I need to put him somewhere and let him go through some conditions and situations and circumstances, and he can't control them, and they wear him down, he beating and calling, so he can get right back him. And now he know how to serve, because now he's been taught from the knowledge I give him of information, through situations he suffered and he gone through. Now, come talk to him and tell him, I just told him to be still. Tell him he need to come on move with him. He got experience. Now the book told it, content ain't simple, just saying entice you. What do we do? Now, this is the thing about it. The first time he would have told he to went, because he looked at, I mean, I can still go and still be in his sight. The problem becomes what you're going to do is outside my will. That's how I get you out my sight. Because the was good. Appreciate it. He did it without a check. Do that. Get a check. Call one of the Atlanta folks. Think you better than them. Y'all saying, we just want to be fair. That look like our time folk way better than us. Want to like it. So now, it's important for us to understand the relationship. So just like with Yasharal, they had a relationship that they had for such a long period of time. Like anybody else, you ain't got to do what you did when you first started wooing somebody. Got to bring flour home every week or writing a letter, send a text every minute. You know what I'm doing. You know I love you. I got to tell you that all the time. And so we tend to kind of get laxed. And that's what happened with Yasharal, and they got lax. You know what I'm saying? They looked at, there was plenty of forgiveness with him because he didn't cut us all off. There was time he did. It was hard pressed on. There was time he wait before he come back and he would render us the restitution for our behavior. But then when he came speedily upon us, it wound up ousting us out. And then look at him. We done spent over 400 years here. Yeah. We done 70 years in Babylon and in Iran, with Iraq and Iran. We done we did 49 years in other places. We've been in so many captivities. This has been the second longest captivity we ever done. Yeah. But it was so we will understand and not be the people that our forefathers was. Then reading about their events, we start saying, 400 years? We've been over here 400 years. Is this our Mizraim, our Egypt? And then you learn when they came out, what did they do? They came out with great stuff, but they transgressed. They forgot as soon as the situation came up, they was what? Doubting. They went among him for everything. So guess what? We are people been put in so many situations to where it more or less forces you to have to look at, I got to depend on it. Right. Things I can't put everything I got in man and other people. Man dies. Man changes his mind. Man are like and hate you in the same breath. You'll be the best thing and worst thing out of the same mouth. He said, I don't know how it works, how a well can have clean water and bad water. He said, I don't know it. Isn't that right? He said, the fruit bad, the tree bad. So we start putting all these scenarios to let you know, start looking at your condition. Look at why things are happening, yet we murmur and grumble. We don't look at how do we repair the breaches. When Nakum Yahuah, they called Nehemiah, he saw some things. When Yasharal was broken down, he saw what? One thing we need to see, breaches. Can we look up what a breach is? That's what they'll holler in security in military, certain area, high security area. They'll tell you, a breach. They know it's been a break. A breach is an act of breaking or failing to observe law, agreement, or code of conduct. A breach of confidence. So we look at a breaking or failing. That's what we've done. We have a breaking and a failing when they come down to keeping the Torah. That's what we did. When they went back to Jerusalem to repair it, he went back there to repair the breaches. Did y'all know that? And your cause they call Isaiah, they call Ezekiel, your cause which means Yahuah strengthens. That's important because in the 22nd chapter of that book in 28, he said he was looking for a man to make up the heads, to stand in the gap in the breach. So now what we're going to start, so why were there breaches in the wall? Because there was some breaking of the law. That's why the wall had to come. The wall was our security, the car. That was our security. Having a wall. You'll see rich people, they'll put gates around, electric gate, they'll put cameras. That's part of their security. This is the first line of defense. Isn't that right? This to sway off people that don't come because the defenses are here. He said, I put a breach in there. Because you broke the Torah, I want to break in your gates. I want to tear your walls down and let you know this is what happened. This is what happened when you go against me. What you look for your security is not there for you anymore. And we'll keep praying and we'll keep asking, yet we don't really sit down and logically look at where did the breach come? Where did the breach? Did I transgress because I didn't know Torah, instruction, direction? Or did I transgress because I felt like time was a factor? It's been so long. Surely he won't hold us against me. I got so many other things come. Other things that happen against me or to me to where this is not as important as it was. And it become our downfall. That become our downfall. These are the things we're looking at. We'll finish that Colossians, the 3rd chapter. Now I try to let y'all go. Colossians 3. I got it over here to let y'all try to get y'all go. Colossians 3 and 1. All right. Listen.
Or if you have been cum with the Mashiach,
You've been raised with a Mashiach.
seek those things which are above, where the Mashiach is seated there at the right hand of Elohim.
See that? You heard it again. Let you know, Benjamin, and it just told you where he told you to seek. Why not beneath? You do better in high elevation. You just do better. Yahuah, they call Jeremiah. That means Yahuah will be exalted. Yahuah will be exalted. You know what? Plants start out in the ground. You know where they do their best work at? When they elevate. You don't dig the fruit from trees out in no ground. All the fruit, when it comes up, it elevates.
Yes, sir.
What you think he did with him? He put it where he elevated, where he could produce fruit. Pari. So he's looking at now, if you then be cum with him, I mean, you've been down, right? Well, now it's time to elevate it. He told you to start seeking the thing which are well. Is this literally where you going? Yeah, but let's think about this. Sometimes what you do, you got to put in your mind. Just like game, you got to put in you have a game play in your mind. Who walk out there butt naked just play? You pretty much got a game plan in your mind. You've already studied your opponent to look at who you might match up against, who could possibly be guarding you. It's things you got to kind of put in your mind you play that you're going to do. Not just walking just having to put up 50. They put a play in their mind for 50. They put a play, and when they listen, not necessarily the 50 number, but they put a play in their mind, they work, and they work. They're like, I'm going to do this all night. I'm feeling it. I'm going to work it the whole time. And that's how it goes. Now he's telling you before you get there, you're going to have to put this thing in your mind. Seek those things which are above, where the Mashiach
Seated there at the right hand of Elohim.
On the Yamin of Elohim, on the right. Do what he want me to do with my affection.
Think of those things which are above,
See that? Think of those things which are above
not of what are on the Arats.
and not on, guess what, the things on the right side? That's lower elevation. Think about that. Yahushua told you to seek ye first the Malkuth, what was it? Where that's at? Underground. And all these things. We just do better with elevation. Do y'all agree? We just do better with elevation. That's why he told you to seek. So everything he tell you to do with Shaul, who they call Paul, it's the same thing. Who should talk about seeking those things? About seeking. It's the same thing. Come on.
For you have moot, and your Kai is hidden with the Mashiach and Elohim.
You see that? He said you moved, you died. You died. Now, how did you die? How did you die? This a physical death?
To Kata.
Yeah, you died to Qatar. See that? Think about it. I used to live the fornicate. I lived the adultery. I lived the smoke. I lived the drink. I lived to tell lies. All the things I lived. So when I stopped living, that's equivalent to dying. Because you don't add it. A person dead is someone that cannot. Can we see what dead means? If I find the devil, so I can just make sure I'm correct. Because you can be dead drunk. Let's see what dead is. Dead is no longer. All right, can we see what alive is? Or alive. Either one, I guess, was probably alive or alive. Of a person, animal, or plant living, not. I'm drinking. Wow. I'm living. I'm living to be able to operate and do those things. I know what y'all saying dead. Dead to Elohim, but I'm alive to the world. I'm fornicating. I'm living a dead to the world. I'm committing adultery, living a dead. Living. But he just said, but you are dead. And he told me to seek those things which are above. This is the last thing he's telling you to do. This is not the first thing. Now he's telling you why. Because you're dead. You're dead. So a person dead can't participate in. So when you understand the state, guess what they had knowledge of? A person being dead. They know a person being dead can't get up and bury themselves. And they know they can't move themselves. Well, Maureen, when she came to the Kubal, the grave of Yahushua, and she supposed that Yahushua was a gardener, what did she ask him about his body? Where you put it at? Why would she ask him where he put it? Because he was dead. There's no way a dead person can move themselves. That's why she asked him, where did you put his body? Because he's dead and he's gone. See, that means you can't participate. So you got to understand the semantics of what he's saying to you now. Because you're dead. And your life is hidden in Mashiach. So someone else is holding possession of your life. If I get Dexter all my money, give me some money, I don't have to go see Dexter. That's who got it. That's who got your life, so you can't participate. It been giving him a strict order, don't give it away. So when he goes sin, he's going to tell him, no. So I'm out of the matter. We got to understand what abilities he's giving us, the knowledge that he's trying to get us, or he's trying to display across. He said, because you dead, and your life is hid in the Mashiach. So what's going to happen? Come on.
The time Mashiach, who is our Kai, is manifested,
See that? When he manifested, made known.
then you shall also be manifested with him in Kabul.
See that? I'm also be shown with him in Kabul. See that? And the reason why we look at that, because the purpose of why you take on water immersion, Ma'im is the word for water. You take on the water immersion, it's symbolic of being dead with him, but then being alive, coming up from the dead. So he said, when he appear, I'm going to appear with him as well. He got my life, so I got to show up when he show up. He's got to sit there. When he shows up, I'm going to show up. Y'all got it? Listen.
For consider the members which are upon the Arats.
In the King James version, I think it tells us to modify. See, now it's telling you to consider. And considering, then we need to start making some changes. Some things we do are extreme. And we try to make them less extreme to us. Y'all got it? And that's going to come with considering. And you're going to consider, that means you need something to kind of base it against.
Right.
Y'all got it? Let's see what he's asking us to do.
Zanuth.
See that? Zanuth, that's
Uncleanness.
fornication. Uncleanness.
Passion.
Which is going to be lust. He'll put under the lust, I'm sure. What else?
Rosha desire.
Evil desire.
And covetousness after greed, which is the work of idolatry.
See that? Which the work of idolatry. Let's see what has happened.
For it is because of these things
For it is because of these things
that the wrath of Elohim shall come upon the Bani of disobedience.
See that? Now this is who the people are going to destroy. So what's my profit in me committing fornication? What my profit in me? Idolatry worship. And lust. Having strong desire for things that go contrary to his will. He said that's disobedient. And it's disobedient. Why? Because I told you the obedient thing to do is not to do it. So now you put yourself in not complying, which means now instead of me being in your favor, I'm going to be working against you. Now they say, it look like folks against me all the time. That's because he look at you against me. So what's the other option to work is to allow other people that you look to other situations not to work in your favor. Typically the things that pull us off are people, places, and things, nouns. Nouns, people, places, and things get us. Somebody got somewhere they got to go. Somebody got somebody they got to be with. Somebody got some things they got to have. It is all. This is what typically get us off. So what he look at, I got to make things work against you. That's how it's going to work in your favor to draw you back. So sometimes we look at things as being hurtful or killing us. No, it's actually working to bring us back to him. Had my life gone the other way, I wouldn't be him. I needed everything I looked to fall in my face. I needed everybody I looked to, I need them to fall down. I needed every place I went to or wanted to go to, I need to see it come down. That's what drove me him. Y'all got it? Now, it can work to you in that favor, or it can work to allow those things to look like they still got stability and let it all come down at the end. That's when it's too late for you to get in. Consider your ways. That's two. You say to who? You say to who? All right, get ready. Get a little something. Everybody all right? Appreciate Mr. Yahuah for allowing us this little time to maybe consider our ways. Ain't that right? Get this thing right. Appreciate it, too. Courtney must then take her 10-minute fast. He said, as soon as I told Courtney to fast for 10 minutes so she can get well. He said, after he told her, she ate a taco. She said, it's rough on her, y'all. She said, rough. She said, that 5-minute fast. She said, that thing crucial. I get when you're a kid, though, man, time like it be too long. You can sign for 1 minute. I've been doing it for about an hour. You're like, an hour? When I was a kid, though, an hour was a long time.
Road trips.
Man, we went on an hour-and-a-half road trip. Them things took so long, it was ridiculous. Man, we were riding for days, man. We were a kid, though, they just look like, man, like, I used to look at the tree, be like, you be running the tree going back. I'd be like, man, I could be running with the tree. Be looking at trees, trying to count trees or something. Y'all do that? I saw so many cows on the road, all of them dead. Ain't none of them cows living them. I go back to kind of look down, I remember just seeing cows. houses everywhere. I go out at them dairy farms, that's junk over with. They put houses, the fields are just dead. I said, they just took the life out of the world. These people so rotten, ain't they? Woo, people rotten. Ed, you cold? You cold? Man, that look impossible, don't it? Put that up there for me. Hold on, let me get her some too. You want to take this one or that one? You want to take that home? So I put it that, put on. I do. They put it, that covered me. I was covered till last night, so that covered me on through. I'll be back. I appreciate y'all. Y'all learn anything though? Something to consider. I appreciate it. Appreciate Mr. Yahuah. I appreciate the shower and them that work with me. They patient too. I appreciate it. I know it's something. I preach all the time. That's why I try to get them time to, to preach and get it, because they got to exercise they give too. And, I do it all the time. I know y'all get tired of hearing me too. Get them. I appreciate them being patient, with me. They know I got a young group. I'm really trying to get us. Yes, sir. Hold on. Yes, sir. Come on. Yeah, and I'm trying to get them to where, as you can see, I have a sentimental value for my children. Come on, fat man. So, you got it? Let me get it. Appreciate it. So, again, I really try to, I want just, trying to get us mature enough to where we're in a certain place. So when you do things, you're sure to keep what we got in a certain perspective line. A lot I appreciate them doing. It ain't easy working with, preachers. And I appreciate it. I don't have no problem with them doing it. I'm saying work with preachers. When you're dealing with pastors, because someone got some agendas that's so far out there and got so much stuff going. But my end is just making sure we get this right. What are you doing, homeboy? So my goal is to make sure we get salvation right, and to make sure we get other things that's entailed with it that he has for us, because it's not just the spiritual part. There's a natural part to what he wants to have as well, and there are things we have to set protocol for in order for him to happen. He give us the knowledge to do it. Then you got to have the will. Y'all got it, and he put things in a way that when we sat down, if we work in the way he tell us, it work out for us. I'm telling y'all, listen, this is right. Y'all will see, man, he gonna hit this place with so many pestilence and so many things coming. We need him to keep us to where it don't come nigh to us. Y'all hear me? But I'm saying I know a lot of y'all, because of where you at in your servitude, you don't see that as being possible. You don't see it because you don't see some physical things happening for you, working for you right now. That's where you're gonna have to realign or reassess how you're doing things. It's very much possible. It's very much caused to happen the way he told us. You just got to really be willing to do what he told you, fully compliant. That's include me. Fully, there's some more I can do. All of us can do more. Y'all got it? This thing whine. I'm telling y'all, listen, this ain't for the faint in heart. I'm going to tell y'all that. This is really not. Listen, all these conditions coming. See, this is the only way you're going to weather out who stay. A lot of us been here, think about it. We had never seen Corona before it came. That made a change. The economy, listen, y'all have no idea how bad this economy is. It is so much worse than what y'all know. It is so terrible. Listen, these banks have made such a mess out here. Y'all have no idea how bad. Listen, it's a lot of these houses going to belly up. They gave these folks, they're going to belly up. They just bad loans, and they only getting worse. They still, that's what's scary. They're still trying to give bad loans out. These people can't afford it. People want a house so bad, they like, listen, your mortgage is going to be $2,900. You send us okay, I can do. No, good way you can't afford no $2,900. This is setting you for failure. Now, the stress is going to overwhelm you because this is not practical, and it's going to break you down, and you're going to lose everything. And you know who you're going to blame it on? Why would he let me do that? He said, I didn't let you do that. You ran after something. It wasn't practical. Had you did it the way I told you, it was going to work. So we're starting to look at all this stuff fell into us. It ain't because he hates you. It's because he's trying to get us to see you can't put your trust, even shout, he said, don't put your trust in no uncertain riches. Listen, I got stuff that I'm working on. I want us all to be minded on working on, but I want us to be working on our salvation first. That's primary. For things to work for, we got to make sure what is our intent. Is it just for self-glory, self-wealth? He said, he don't work in that field. Self-glory, he don't work. I said, I personally want me $10 million. He said, you ain't talking to me. He said, I don't work in that. He said, who that gonna benefit? No, I'm just talking about for me. Then I deal with them. He said, I don't even work like that. On where I work, it gotta benefit the people. That's why what we got don't work for everybody. It don't. It gotta be to benefit people. Y'all somewhere, if you fell down, if something happened to you, anybody gonna go in your pocket take nothing from you? Not him. Anybody going through your pocketbook talking about, man, here go a free $50. Not here, they ain't doing it. Now, I can't say what the fuck gonna do now. You go down to the church of churches. I can just tell you what's gonna happen here. Nobody here gonna bust your window and take nothing out your car. Not here, they not gonna do it. Now, I can't tell what's gonna happen nowhere. That's only because that's the mindset he set for us. Because that's just like taking from one of us. That's just being honest. See, if we work it the way he told to work it, this is how we got to work on it. It might be a time that he don't hear you. The day he don't hear you. He hear Cam. He ain't going to believe when Cam allow. He going to ask Yahuah to Zakar Rashida. He ain't hearing her. He ain't hearing him. Whatever reading it is. He hearing Janae. She going to ask that he remember Cam and Rashida. He looking at, whoo. And I set myself, I wasn't going to hear what you call it. I wound up hearing him, and he wound up saying something about it. Like, goodness. That's it. That's how we're going to work it. Think about it. When Yahushua was out there, he heard him. He the best person to tell him forgive her. But everybody couldn't get it. He said forgive him. Because he wasn't hearing us. So he tried to hear. He said, you hear me? Listen, he even told the folk before he called Lazarus, he said, Abba. He said, I know you hear me. You always heard me. He said, so for the sake of them that stood by, that's why I said it. So he told him, forgive us. That's why I heard he said, because I know you always hear me. See, you need to keep yourself associated with people that keep a communication with him. So when he ain't hearing you, he hearing somebody else. They making requests for you. I make requests for people. Listen, folk that support me, I always include, because I know people out there who doing it, who seeking him. I ain't no fool just for the way y'all. That's crazy. This just the local assembly where he had me, had me shepherded. Well, there's a whole lot more folk looking at him and looking. I consider folk going through the devastation. Listen, that man said his sword. He told me before, he said, what if I said against the Sadiq and the Rosh? See, we were used to seeing it like, come kill the person bad. He said, your cause a call. He said, tell these people that a sword is sharpened. He said, tell them that it's polished and it's furbished against the hewn. They were looking like, ooh, boy, Bruno finna get it. Ooh, he finna tear him out. He said, what if I even set it against the bend? He said, what if I drop my sword on the Sadiq and the Rosha? How you gonna figure this one out? Listen, I'm taking out Rosha and Sadiq. You thinking, huh? He's like, it's sharpened against the day. He said, I'm gonna set my sword out. He said, against. So now what place we gotta be in? If this thing gonna come upon, so if people that's Yakra upon that man Shem, seek this man, those folks were affected by that earthquake. They just show you the Muslim. Some of our people there in Syria, in these places, these flood. You couldn't possibly think that we the only people. So he put it on the laws, or some of us say, Zakatim and Palau. I'm not hearing them right now, but I hear you. And there's gonna be a time he not gonna hear me, he'll hear them. So you know what he told to do? Palau one for another. Palau one for another. You don't ever think you good. Your time coming. And he don't hear you. I need him to be able to hear somebody that'll consider us. Let's say, Baraka those people. Be a cover, be a shield for them people. That's why I pull out those people in captivity. Everybody in captivity in prison ain't guilty. And you don't know what it do for them. Yahuah say, you know what? I ain't going to release them right now, but I give them consolation. Because you asked. Because you asked. And eventually I'll deliver them. So you know what I do? I keep wording with the same thing. You know how I look at it? He said, boy, I pray the same thing. Because that's what I want. I know y'all probably say, won't he pray something different? When I want something different. What I pray for, that's what I want. Hello? Your kid keep asking you from January 1 about a Tonka toy, all through February, March, June, July, September, November, December, all the way up to December 19, you go December 20, what you want for Christmas? You ain't got no idea? Who can take a wild guess probably what they want? You ain't gonna believe it. He ain't gotta take a wild guess. He know exactly what I want. That's what I pull out for. I be polite, y'all. I be polite for y'all. No, y'all know it. Y'all distant from us by basar, flesh, never by the bar. So we polite to somebody who watch over every one of them places, and all y'all in them prospective places till you bring it together, because y'all supposed to be a light where you at. I tell Atlanta the same thing. Everywhere y'all go, y'all supposed to be a light. I ain't talking about no hot light, like no doing Krispy Kreme, and then cut off. A light. Every one of y'all, that's what y'all probably do. Y'all come here to get taught to get illuminated. And I keep you illuminated. Sometimes the balancer have you blink. Sometimes light, you got to turn that light sometimes and get it the light back up. Sometimes you just got to twist it to turn it. Sometimes the balancer be bad. Fix that balancer, put that bulb back in there. Man, that thing jet like new. That's what y'all here for. So when you get back, make sure you balance. Make sure you set. When you go, listen, be a light. That's all you got to do, be a light. You got to do no touch, just be a light. Somebody come in and quiz, somebody might say, I'm just kidding. Let me ask you something. Where you go? Where you been? They ain't do that for no reason. He said, put you there just for that day. Listen, whether you might say, they can't ever, they ain't come. No, he said, they did what I had them to do. I'm not going to save them. I just need them to hear. So they won't be able to tell me in the human mosh pot, I ain't even know where to go. Somebody told me it was somewhere, a guy in Atlanta, I'd have tuned in and went. He said, you asked, you heard it, and you walked off from it. Why y'all think y'all might, how many of y'all had folk ask y'all before where you go in out of town or two? Oh, yeah. And probably the prophet don't look there, probably say, you know, he got him too. You know, he said, I know, that's where I want to leave him at. I just wanted to come up against him in the human mosh pot, they'd be mauled. People watch y'all, why don't other folk where they go? Because folks still different. Y'all hold on, don't be getting up, be quitting. Because you see these folks out here running, folks ain't crazy. Listen, with all this stuff coming, people measuring this stuff, people ain't crazy, they watching. I'm watching you, I'm watching them. I'm watching you, I'm watching them. I'm through watching them, I'm watching you. Because I see what you say, make it say. I see something different that's starting to spark, make me ask questions. Y'all hear me? These folks ain't, Sonny, go out there and watch them, all them eggs are loose. Folks know good well they ain't sat there telling that lie. All them doing eggs, all them high as eggs here. I kick them kids behind. I ain't getting no egg this morning for my doing, but I bet I catch no eggs in no grass. Take them up my doing self. Take them eggs home, put them in the doing refrigerator, high as eggs here. Tell the kid, give me this egg, you little stupid kid. Get out of here. Get out of here. Run them out of here. How many of y'all pissed about these egg prices? Well, I eat some eggs too. I bet I catch no eggs on no doing ground. Remember, make me ride my truck through there and put that thing four-wheel drive there, mash them in the ground. We're wasting time teaching kids lies. All right, everybody, let's give it a stand. Give Mr. Yahuah a hand clap. Them eggs got me mad now.